Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when you were together, you were alone. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when you were in the narcissistic relationship, many times you would be with the person, i.e. the narcissist, but you would feel completely alone. You would feel isolated. You would feel taken for granted. You would feel not that you weren't being heard, you weren't being listened to, that your opinion didn't matter. You were feeling isolated all by yourself, even when you were sitting next to the person, maybe even on a couch watching a movie or something. When you were together, you physically may have been together. Let's say you went on a trip, or you were in a car going to work, or you were having breakfast in the morning, or maybe you would have dinner with the person every once in a while. But when you were together, you didn't quite feel like things were right. You knew something was off. Again, you weren't taught narcissism 101 in school, so you didn't know what the narcissistic abusive cycle was. But you felt alone. And what you felt yourself doing is you felt yourself over-explaining things, trying to strike up conversations at times, trying to please the narcissist, trying to calm the mood, trying to have some kind of connection with the person. And many times the narcissist would sense this, and they would sense that you were trying, and you were really trying to connect with them. And what would they do back then? Well, they would do so many things. They would invalidate you. They would perhaps gaslight you. They would give you the silent treatment. They would say, wait a minute, I have to go upstairs and clean out the closet. They would say, I have to go run an errand. They wouldn't want to have an adult conversation with you. Now, when I say adult conversation, I mean an intelligent conversation about anything. Back then, it could have been about the relationship. It could have been about raising kids. It could have been about what your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations were. It could have been about that you were trying to fix the relationship. But when you were together, you were alone. Let's just take an example. Let's say you went on a holiday or a vacation, and you went with the narcissist, and let's just say you went with some other people as well. Could have been immediate family members or other couples or other families, whoever you went with. When you would get to that destination, the narcissist couldn't get away from you fast enough. And you couldn't wrap your head around why that was. Well, why it was because you were already in the devaluation stage, and they didn't want you to be you. They wanted to ruin that vacation. And what they also wanted to do was go meet all the other new people, or all the people, and connect with them, because they needed to get new sources of supply. Now, this video is not exclusive to supply, but when you're the built-in source of supply, meaning you live under the same roof as the narcissist, you are anything but in a healthy or stable relationship. You are isolated. You are fearing when that front door opens, who is it going to be, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde? You lose your identity. You lose your sense of self. And when you are with that person, i.e. the narcissist, you are alone. Now, physically, like I mentioned earlier, you are with them in the physical proximity of the house, or even on that vacation. But mentally, they're checked out, because they already know that they have you. And the narcissist wants new shiny objects. They want new relationships, or they want to recycle old relationships, or they want to rekindle relationships with people in the past. I'm talking not romantic relationships. I'm talking friends that they may not have seen in a year or so. Going back to that vacation example. If you spent vacation time with the narcissist, you know a few things. One, the vacation was ruined. Two, it was blown up on purpose by the narcissist. Three, you were running around doing anything they wanted you to do, making plans, essentially having an itinerary every single day. We're going to do this, we're going to go here, we're going to do that, we're going to eat here, we're going to sleep, and you couldn't get a vacation. You couldn't get rest and calmness and peace, because you needed a vacation from the vacation, because your vacation was essentially, you were the chauffeur, you were the butler, you were the person that was planning the itinerary, doing everything. And the narcissist knew this. That's why I mentioned on the channel, the narcissist, what they really want is an unpaid helper. They want a sounding board. They want a walking apology. They want someone to be with them, but they don't want that person with them, if you understand that. And you may not wrap your head around that. What that means is they need people to regulate themselves. And anybody will do. And I mean any body, any person. As long as the person is providing supply or pumping up the narcissist's fragile ego, they'll take it. They'll take it from anybody. And you were the main source of supply when you're in that relationship. Maybe you even married them, or maybe it's your mom or dad or brother or sister, who knows. But eventually something broke, something snapped, something gave. And you woke up and you realized, wait a minute, I can't keep doing this. What I'm doing is I'm putting my life on hold, and I am taking on all the weight of this person. And I'm listening to all their complaints and all how things don't go right for them, or why certain people aren't behaving certain ways, and maybe why they didn't get the promotion, or why they can't do A, B, and C. But they're never listening to you. And that's another reason why you felt alone. Now, the channel that I created, NARCDAILY, You Are Not Alone, that's because this is one of the main reasons why. Because when you are alone and you're in the relationship with the narcissist, you do not have anybody to turn to, because you weren't taught narcissism in school. You don't know what you're up against. You're isolated. You're doing everything you possibly can to appease that person and to build a stable, healthy relationship, a two-way reciprocal relationship. But that will never happen in a million years, because the narcissist needs new other people, new sources of supply consistently, constantly, day in and day out. And eventually your relationship with the narcissist gets old to them. And what happens at times? They discard you, perhaps even 2 days before what your favorite holiday was. Now, the other reason why I've created the channel, just to let you know, is because when you are isolated post-narcissistic relationship and you don't have anybody in sight to talk to, anybody to bounce things off of, because they all drank the Kool-Aid from the smear campaign, and all these people revealed themselves, and they turned out to be flying monkeys, etc. Well, that's when you are alone. And I created the channel to let you know that you are not alone, because I broke the trauma bond, I healed, and I did it during a very challenging period of time in 2020. If I did it, you can do it. So getting back to the thumbnail, when you were with them, you were alone because you were. Let's say you're in a car, you were driving somewhere, maybe you're going to work, and the narcissist was going to drop you off at work. Well, you would be the passenger in the car, they would be driving, and what would they be doing? A lot of times, they would be giving you the silent treatment, and you would be really, really anxiety riddled. You would be stewing. You couldn't figure out why just 20 minutes ago they were laughing and having fun with everybody else in the household, but the minute you got in the car with them, it was radio silence. The reason why, again, is because they wanted to punish you for being you, and they wanted to start your workday off not in a good way. And then they wanted you texting them throughout the day saying, hey, is everything good? What's going on? You weren't talking to me in the car. Like, are you okay? Is everything? And when you were doing that, you didn't realize it, but you were giving them supply. And what you were doing is you were actually feeding them, giving them your energy, and taking the energy away from you. So you probably weren't even functioning at a high level at work that day. And that went on and on and on, week after week, month after month, maybe even year after year. That's just one example. Or another example, let's say you're in that same car ride, and maybe you're not going to work, but you're just going somewhere with the narcissist. And let's say you are driving this time. Well, what is the narcissist doing? I can assure you they're not talking to you. I can assure you they're either playing the music really loud, complaining about your driving, or they're on their smartphone, or they're talking to somebody else that you don't even know who that person is, but they're acting as if you are their chauffeur, because they're not communicating with you. This is what the narcissist does. They take people for granted, and they really want to punish people, and they want to extract as much from these people as they possibly can. That was me, and it certainly was you if you made it this far in the video. But the narcissist was doing anything but having intelligent conversations with you. They were taking everything you were doing as if that was your job, it was your responsibility. So again, using that car example, when you were driving somewhere and they were the passenger, they would be calling up people consistently. Let's say the trip was 2 hours. Okay, well, maybe they talked to you for a minute here, a minute there, but most of the time it was on their smartphone, probably on dating apps or social media, and they were looking for your replacement. Other things, they'd be making phone calls to people that they just talked to 10 minutes ago, and you're saying to yourself, why are you doing this? I don't get it. You just talked to them 5 minutes ago. Well, again, they're trying to wind you up. They're trying to push your buttons. They're trying to invalidate you. And they're telling you, what's your problem? You're so insecure. Can't I talk to my friends? What's the big deal? You can do whatever you want. Why can't I? And again, you'd be scratching your head saying, who does this? We're supposed to be enjoying our lives together. But when you were in that car ride and you were driving, as that example illustrated, you felt completely alone, even though you were in the same vehicle as the narcissist. So when you were together, you were alone. You just didn't realize it. Now go back to the euphoric/love bomb stage, the beginning of the relationship. That's when everything was puppies and rainbows, or so it appeared. It appeared to be unicorns and butterflies, and everything was super fast, and it was one of the most fun periods of your entire life. But bear in mind, that wasn't a real period. Did it happen? Yes. Was it sustainable? No. Was the narcissist being authentic? Absolutely not. You were just the new shiny object, and they were trying to trap you in the trauma bond and to get you to fall in love with them, perhaps. This is all by design. It's what the narcissist does. It's what they did before they met you. It's what they did when they met you. It's what they're doing right now with other people. And you may say, well, Andrew, who is the new supply? Well, I can't tell you who that is, but I'll tell you what this. The new supply is either a recycled source of supply from the past who hasn't healed, or a toxic person themselves, or there's somebody just like you. which is somebody who did not have the wisdom, and they believed in the mask, and they didn't know that the narcissist did not have their best interest at heart. It's very simple. It's one of those three people. And having said all these things, when you were with the narcissist, you could have been physically with them, but they were checked out. All they were doing is looking at how much they can take from you. And what they were looking at is what button of abuse to press on when they were with you. Would they be gaslighting you? Would they be giving you the silent treatment? Would they triangulate you? Would they use some of the smear campaign? Would they be asking you questions to learn more about you so they could weaponize those against you at a later date? Think about this one. You were at work. You got a promotion or a pay raise. You came home. This is the very first time you came home with a pay raise or a promotion. And the narcissist is there. Maybe they're in the kitchen looking at sources of supply on their smartphone, who knows? But you would be all excited and you would open the front door and say, great news, I got it. And then they would tell you, wait a minute, I'm sorry, I have to clean out the refrigerator, or excuse me, but I'm doing laundry, or pardon me, but I have to go up and help somebody out, help somebody move, relocate. They would say something like that, and you couldn't even share with them the good news of the pay raise or the promotion. And it would really deflate you. Now, are you gonna earn more money? Yes, but did they care? Yeah, probably, because they're gonna benefit from the money you're gonna be making, but they don't wanna give you accolades, they don't wanna praise you. They need all the attention and the spotlight on themselves. So using that example, they would isolate you and you would feel alone. And you never got to celebrate those promotions or pay raises when you were with the narcissist. That is why so frequently on the channel, I suggest to people, post-narcissistic relationship, once you've healed, or once you are healing, when you get a win, you need to celebrate it. A win means, here's an example of a big win. A big win would be the first day ever that you block the narcissist. You go no contact, you delete them, you remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If you do that, that's a huge win. Now, is it gonna sting for a little while? Yes, it will. But slowly you will get accustomed to it and you'll realize that's one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life, because you no longer have to be in communication with the narcissist and you don't have to play their games and listen to all their nonsense, and you don't have to be waiting for a text or waiting for a phone call or waiting to see what they're gonna do. You take action, and if you do it, it will really benefit you. Again, it's gonna hurt for a little while, but after time, when you really get accustomed to understanding that your energy will return, your health will return, your finances will return, your network of friends, if they're not flying monkeys or drinking the Kool-Aid, they will return, or you will create new friendships or new friend circles. And perhaps you could even fall in love again if you want. You can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book. You can do whatever you want to do, but that's when you go no contact. But understand, celebrating the wins, what I mean by that is when you do something for yourself and you really made progress in breaking free from the narcissistic abusive cycle, the celebration means to sit down, take stock, and take pause of where you were a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, etc. And understand that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. It's where you're meant to be. Even though you may not want to be where you are, it's exactly where you're supposed to be. If you were supposed to be somewhere else, you would be there. Now, along all these tools I'm providing for you and all the information I'm sharing with you, radical acceptance is huge. Practicing radical acceptance and understanding that relationship was what it was. It wasn't what you thought it was. That is a very challenging and difficult pill to swallow for many people, myself included, but I did it. And when I did that, that unlocked so much healing for me. My hope is you're going to practice radical acceptance and understand that pining for the narcissist, someone who doesn't care about you or care about anybody, it's not the path. The path is to really go no contact and conserve your energy for yourself and those loved and trusted ones around you, if not now, when. But all these things I'm mentioning, when you were with the narcissist, you were alone. These examples, they're littered all throughout that relationship. Think about when you would go to a barbecue or a dinner event with other couples. Okay, well, you would look around and you would see the other couples perhaps looking at each other's eyes and holding hands and hugging, or maybe putting their arm around each other or giving an affectionate look. Okay, did you get that with a narcissist? No, you didn't. What did you get? I'll tell you exactly what you got. You got being ignored. You got being blame shifted. You were definitely triangulated. You were isolated. You did not appear as if you were a couple with that person, because when you entered that barbecue or event or the dinner with all the other couples, the narcissist was probably walking 10 or 20 feet in front of you. Why would that be? Well, number one, because they believe they own you, but number two, they want to appear single, or they want to appear like something's broken between you and them. And that's all it takes. See, when a loving or stable couple walks into a, let's say, event together, usually they're holding hands or they're walking side by side, or one person's waiting for the other one, and they want to show unity. They want to show togetherness and love and appreciation for one another. That's not what you get with the narcissist. All you get is smoke and mirrors, triangulation, and you get singleness. Now, they wanted to appear single even though they were married, but think about this one. How many times did the narcissist take off their wedding ring when you were in the relationship with them? Or how many times did they claim they lost it, or that it was too big or too small, or they needed to get it fit, or they don't wear it because of their work, etc.? Why would they do that? They would do that because they want to appear single, and they want to devalue you and have you questioning why they're not wearing the ring, why they're not keeping the vows of that marriage or wedding that you celebrated. It's because the narcissist doesn't care about marriage or weddings. Well, they care about weddings, they don't care about marriage. What they care about is having the license to abuse somebody, because the vows that you took when you got married, you kept them and you adhered to them. That's not what the narcissist did. They just got supply planning the wedding and attending the wedding, and maybe if you went on a honeymoon, they got supply there, but they blew it up, I can assure you that. And drop comments if you know what I'm talking about. But then what did they do? Once they got what they wanted and there was no more event to plan or people to invite or uninvite, wink wink, meaning remember, when the narcissist is planning the wedding attendees, many times they'll invite people that will benefit them, and many times they will uninvite people that don't benefit them, or they want to isolate those people. The games go on and on with the narcissist. They will continuously go on and on, but the games will go on without you being in the loop, without you being in the cycle, because the narcissist is stuck in the narcissistic abusive cycle. You're out, you're healing, you're moving towards and working towards that pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, when you no longer care about the narcissist or anybody from that period of time. But when you were together, you were alone. I just shared so many illustrations. Watch this one. Maybe the narcissist one time brought a pet home. Maybe they brought a dog home and surprised you. Well, did you know you were about to be a dog owner or a pet owner? Of course you didn't. Did the narcissist ask you? No, they didn't. But why did they do that? Why do you think they just brought a pet home and said, hey, here's part of the new family, it's our new dog? Why do you think they did that? Well, number one, they're a child in their tiny little pea brain. But number two, they wanted to show you that they're caring more about a dog than they would you. Third of all, when they did that, you didn't have the ability to help pick out the dog or to help research or look for the dog. So now you don't even feel like that dog is part of you. And again, it isolates you. Understand what I'm mentioning. There are so many layers upon layers of the narcissistic abusive cycle to peel back. Each and every day we are learning more and more. We're becoming more awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And we understand that the narcissist has some real challenges in front of them. And the narcissist cannot change. They cannot introspect. They cannot be accountable. They will not apologize. They don't believe they ever do anything wrong. That is why they blow up every relationship they encounter. And when I say every relationship, I do mean that. Because everybody pays the price in a narcissistic relationship. There is not one person on the planet that's immune. That's why I mentioned so frequently on the channel, when you go no contact, there will be casualties of the relationship. It's not just going to be the narcissist, which will be the best thing you ever do in your life when you block that person or those people. But also there will be people that will still be in communication with the narcissist that you also should block if you can, because if anybody you're communicating with is one step away from the narcissist, then the narcissist still has a direct pipeline to you. That's not what you want. What you want is to become small and get off the radar and to have the narcissist slither away into the night onto a new supply. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. But you should not be in a narcissistic relationship 1 minute longer than you need to once you've identified that that person is a toxic, challenging, narcissistic individual. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you all. I love you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, when you were together, you were alone. And I shared with you a couple illustrations of how that was, because you could always work your hardest to appease the narcissist. You could say any words you wanted to, but nothing will ever change, because they don't want to hear what you have to say. They want to keep you stuck in the cycle. They don't want you to believe in yourself. They don't want you to see behind the mask, and they don't want you to grow and advance. They want to keep you trapped and isolated, and that is exactly how the cycle goes on, but it will go on without you in it. Understand the message. God bless you all. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye, everybody.